Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Today on the gold market we have very interesting but a bit tricky stuff. So when you will see details, you understand why I'm calling it interesting. Recently, we unfortunately haven't got any chance for taking the long position because we said that we need to get the bullish grabber on the follow time frame chart. But on the follow time frame chart yesterday, this grabber has to be formed somewhere in this area. But as you can see, no grabbers have been done and the market just collapsed. So it shows this downward action, which hasn't led us to consider taking of any long position. If you remember, yesterday we said about grabber, and if it will be formed, consider some butterfly and triangle of the upper continuation. But grabber has not been formed. That is cancelled the chance for taking the position. But this time, as you can see, instead of the follow time frame chart, recently we've got the bullish grabber on a daily. This is interesting, remarkable, and actually with this pattern, it suggests the taking out of this top. So some upper continuation, maybe in shape of larger ABCD pattern. But in general, if we take into consideration only the gold market, it doesn't look really very reliable. So some downside action. Well, here, it's actually not enough to consider taking the long position. So, yes, we have the pattern, but overall context makes us doubt on the perspective. But currently, guys, if you take a look at interest rates, you could see that recently market has completed the major OP that we were waiting for. This large ABC bottom OP target. Right around 142 area, this target has been hit. About this level we already talked a lot. So this is historical long-term 142 resistance that stands since 2006 probably. And also this is major 30% resistance area. It's 145. OP is done. Now take a look what we have here on the follow time frame chart. Market actually has formed 16183 drive sell pattern and way up, hitting the OP. And now you can see this minor upward action that presses on the gold. This makes the pressure on the gold market. But potentially we are waiting for response from this area to the downside. And this response could be significant. The market could drop as long as to maybe 618 support is around 112, 120 area, or maybe even slightly lower. So this drop could be significant. And that could significantly also support the gold. So I'm not sure about the particular grabber that we have currently. It also could work. And we keep an eye on this pattern today and tomorrow. Intend to keep an eye on. But in general, the reaching by the market of this area has significant resistance. And since this is just the first upside swing after long-term downside action, we suggest deep retracement. That definitely provides some support to the gold. And on the gold market, the overall upward action could be significantly stronger as soon as market starts to show this reaction. So you can see beyond the grabber we have something else on the gold market that really could provide true support. Meantime, as we're mostly watching for this pattern, currently I think that we could focus just on this pattern and the swing inside of it if we would like to still try to take the position. So for that purpose, we intend to use the hourly chart. Let's take a look what we have. On the way down, this probably market has completed some kind of the maybe XOP. Let me check this out. Or maybe OP. Some target has been reached probably here. Well, XOP has not been reached, just a bit on this downside action. The market has tested this trend line that we talked about. Most probably this is 618 support of this upward action. Now take a look with this upward bounce. We're interested with the swing of the grabber itself. Just this one. Now our validation point for a very, very short-term stop will stand slightly below this area. So currently market is forming some ABCD pattern to the downside, which could form the cartel's triple to buy. And if our suggestion is correct, this market could start upward direction right from this point. At the same time, if even we will be wrong, that's only for those who consider this setup. So if we will be wrong, overall loss here, its potential risk is just $8 per contract. So it's very tight standing stop, so you could place stops slightly below this area. Minor grabber already has been formed. Here maybe we will get another grabber, we will see. But in general, forming of the cartel's triple to buy here could make the grabber on the daily chart working, especially if on interest rates we will see some downside continuation, some downside reaction here as well. So that's what we have currently on the gold market. It looks not really very bright, this setup, so it's a bit not as obvious and evident that we usually prefer to see. But it has some background and it makes us think about it. So definitely it's worth of our attention, and maybe even somebody of you will try to make the trade on this setup. Be aware of just a strong downside action. So if market will not be able to hold here and you will see something of that sort, so downward action close to this low, but it would be better to sit on the hands and see what will happen next. So do not be too rushed with taking the position. If overall action will stand the same, it's very gradual here, right to this area, well, maybe it makes sense to consider this possible trade. So that's what we have currently on the gold. But in general, in the longer term, as market already stands some strong resistance, interest rates somewhere within a couple of weeks, this week and next week probably, we should get some signs of the possible reaction on the interest rates and correspondingly some bullish signs on the gold. So that's what we intend to keep an eye on.